Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Roaming with Bennie. Right now we are staying at Poona Palms. Poona is 30 kilometres southeast of Maryborough on the Fraser Coast. It's a lovely little caravan park, nice and sleepy and relaxing, great for families, lots of beautiful sunsets. As you drive into Poona and out of Poona, you're surrounded by pine forests, which I absolutely love. I don't know why, I just have this thing with pine forests. So my beautiful husband took us down the beaten track through the pine forest so Bennie and I could get out and explore and have a run around and just inhale those beautiful pines. It was absolutely gorgeous. Towards the end here it had all been cleared, all been cut down for furniture and what have you, but it was a really nice little treat to get out. Look at them soaring so high, so beautiful. They take my breath away. I just love pine forests and pine cones. Just something special about them. On the way back into Poona, we came across some wild brumbies on the side of the road. There are a lot of signs everywhere to say be wary of them. They could cross the street at any time, and I was so fortunate to come across them. I was excited about these as I was in Canada for seeing a bear. I don't know why, just so beautiful and rare to see wild horses on the side of the road. Look how healthy they are. I'm sure that other one there was an expected mummy. But, all of the same colouring and just doing their own thing, minding their own business, not too freaked out. But the main thing is they just look so healthy, which was pleasing to see. A nice little treat on our way back in. We got back to the park and as usual, another beautiful sunset. We didn't come across any bad weather here at Poona, but they have had a lot of bad weather. The water's rather discoloured, but that's quite the story up and down the coast at the moment. The next day we went into Rainbow Beach, which is not far from Poona. Here we are up on the headland. There's my boys heading down to the viewpoint there. Lovely to see some surf. We haven't seen any surf beaches for a while. Nice and clear, some blue water. It's about half an hour, I think, from Poona. There's my Bennie boy. Just approaching between the trees on the far right side of the screen, you can see a black four-wheel drive. It was freaking me out. This guy was deciding whether to head through the surf and come back along the beach, or was the tide too high? I was thinking the tide was too high. He had to go around a set of rocks that you can't really see from the trees there, but I was thinking, don't do it, don't do it. But he did. He does it. I was thinking I was going to have to call some sort of rescue mob for him in a minute, but no, they got around, thank goodness. But I would have been having kittens if I was in that car. You just don't know how soft the sand is, but maybe he's a local and knows exactly what he's doing, but that freaked me out a bit. Then we headed down for a walk on the beach and wet our toes. There's a lot of jellyfish washed up on the shore. I don't know how poisonous these guys are, but I'm pretty sure they'd give a nasty sting if you were to come into contact with them. It was nice to have some refreshing water, I must say. Up the coast it's all been quite warm. The water's been, not too refreshing at all this time of year. So it was nice to have some clearer water, some waves, and some refreshing water. Then we headed up the Rainbow Steps at Rainbow Beach. We went a bit further up the beach so we could jump in for a Rainbow Beach. Really hot day. I think it's about 35 degrees. Mark's in there having a swim. I'm up here with the Bennie boy. It's windy, which I'm happy about. It's providing a nice cool breeze. In the shade, that is. So from the beach we headed out to Carlo Point Marina, which is kind of between Tin Can Bay and Rainbow Beach. It's a gorgeous little marina, and we actually thought about buying it at one stage. We have been told it's still on the market. It's a beautiful little spot. This here, unfortunately the restaurant was closed. It was Sunday afternoon. Apparently they do a really good feed and delicious cocktails. And they used to feed the dolphins from the jetty there at one stage on Sunset, but I think the council stopped that for obvious reasons. You shouldn't feed the wildlife, etc. But yeah, it's a gorgeous little place, and straight across the car park is a very nice caravan park. Just there you can see the houseboat hire area. This is where you enter to come down to your fishing charters. You can jump on a couple of boats here, just this end of the marina. They'll take you out to Fraser for the day and beyond, and apparently it is very good fishing. There's my boys photobombing me. Yeah, so there's a couple of charters you can jump on right here that will take you out. The water is a little discoloured from the storms they've had, but I think it does have that little bit of a tea tree tinge to it always down here. This is the southern side of the marina. Some people out enjoying the water, a few sandbars out there. My boy's going out for a sticky beak. It's a shame we couldn't get out to the Fraser coast, but out to the Fraser Island, I should say, because we've got Bennie boy, so it's national park, so there are a few things we can't do. There's a boat that didn't make it during the storms that they've had. I wonder if they know. And there's those hire boats I told you about. You can hire them for a week at a time. We tried to jump on one for a few days, but being school holidays, you had to do a minimum of 5 nights, so that ruled that out. That there is the dive centre. That's where they take you out to Fraser for a bit of diving. It's a very peaceful, tranquil, inviting, family-friendly little spot on the coast. Back across the car park. Now we're back at Puna, and one of my favourite activities was to feed the magpie, the mummy magpie there. She'd come and take it directly from my hand and take it back to her baby. Excuse the quality of this. Mark was doing this on his phone. She was so gentle with taking it from my hand, and she'd take it back over to her baby. It wasn't too far away. Regurgitate it and feed her baby. Yeah. She did come to know me just in that few days. I went and grabbed the GoPro now, so she was a bit wary of the GoPro in her face, but she still did her mummy duties. Precious. So we threw the drone up and got a few aerials for you. This is the township of Puna and the caravan park, and like I said, normally this would be clearer and a bit more bluer, but because of the bad weather, it's a bit discoloured, but it's a nice peaceful little location. From there we've moved down further down the coast and we've come into Burrum Heads. We're staying at the Hillcrest Caravan Park, which is straight across the road from this magnificence. Burrum Heads is just north of Hervey Bay. So if you visit Hervey Bay, do yourself a favour and come to Burrum Heads for a little sticky beak. It's well worth it. And there's 2 caravan parks here. There's one that's right on the water, but it's not dog friendly. You can't take the fur babies. And we're pretty close anyway. We're straight across the caravan, the car park, sorry. And this is still our view. Just a short walk. Bennie absolutely loved it, and we did too. We went for a drive into Hervey Bay and went to see the Outrigging pier. It is, I think it's the 2nd longest pier in Australia. Unfortunately, we couldn't walk on it because you can't take your babies on there. And then we went into the historical town of Childers for the day, and look at the RSL. How often do you see an RSL these days that are still in this state, that haven't been, knocked down, replaced or refurbished, renovated? I loved this and had to get a photo of it for you. I love that it's left in its historical state. And then we crossed over to the Insane Cafe at Childers. It was a really quirky little place with lots of old collectible pieces like Singer sewing machines. There's centerpieces on the tables, and they had delicious food as well, and you can take your fur babies. Another day we went into Toogoom, T-O-O-G-O-O-M, Toogoom. That's about 10 minutes south of Burrum Heads. Beautiful little cafe right on the water. Like I said, these waters would normally be turquoise blue, and apparently it's not unusual to see dugongs in the water. We did see a couple of turtles riding close to the shoreline. So you would normally see turtles, dugongs, dolphins. It's an overcast day as well, so that took away the colour of our water a bit, but it was beautiful. We came out here a few times for a swim. Just walked down some steps and it's deep water, and it was a really lovely, special little spot. I'm glad we called in, and we'll be back, I think. And the food here was delicious as well. And then back to Burrum Heads, out on the sandy flats, which Bennie absolutely loves. He's so funny. Oh, I love it. He's like a little rat. We're trying to get him used to the water, and we found if he takes himself in, he's okay with that. You know, he'll get used to it. We've got a lot of travelling to do. He'll get there. And then arrived the 22nd of January. The 22nd of January is the date that I lost my boy. It's been 2 years today, and it was a really hard day. It was a really hard day. None of it's easy, but some days just really floor you. A couple of my girlfriends went out to see him and sent me some photos, which really helped. I'm so grateful for the people in my life that hold me up and support me and help me through it. You know who you are, you're precious to me, and I love you, and I thank you. My favourite succulent was flowering. It's quite uncanny that it was flowering on this day. None of the others were. We went for a walk when we got back to Burrum, and I lowered my head. I wasn't feeling good, sat at the table, just having a down moment, and this feather fell from my hair. I don't know if signs, if they are signs, I don't know, but it couldn't be missed. You know, I picked it up, and I really believe it's my boy sending me a sign that he's with me. I'll take it anyway. I'll take it, but that's what that was, and it helps me. Yeah, I miss him. I miss him, so I'll take whatever I can get. I'm sure Bennie knows. I'm sure he knows when I'm down and what I'm going through. And he's such a blessing. The next day, we went up the other end of Burrum Heads again. You'll walk along this boardwalk which crosses the wet flats. It's a lovely little structure to get you across to the beach. And we let Bennie off the lead and let him have a good run around. There were no other dogs around, so we let him off and let him do his thing. Once again, trying to just get him used to walking through the water, being in the ocean, and knowing not to be frightened of it. And I just love the sound of the pitter-patter of his feet on the sand. And he's in his element here. He just absolutely loves it. And so do we.
Hey, go, Bennie!
It's nice family time. Look at him go.
Yay! These are razor clams, and they are so sharp, and they're hidden all through the shores. And if you step on that, it's going to slice your foot open. And they're everywhere, all through the shoreline. Slice your toe off. Careful with the bin dog. And ourselves. They're everywhere. Just showing all the driftwood that's washed up from the storms we've had here. At Burrum Heads. Right down the beach. Miles. Nasty weather. Now, all that driftwood can come in handy for making some pretty cool structures. We can't take credit for this, it was already there, but it made for good photography. Can come in handy, all that beautiful washed up driftwood. All Benny wanted to do was to continue to play with his ball, but I was having fun getting my photography in. Then I wrote Benny's name in the sand, gave him a profile picture, and he gave it his stamp of approval. Then back to Burrum Heads, and I'll just leave you with a bit of still imagery of the beautiful walks that we did every single day. Out to this view on sunset. Just everywhere you look, it's just so beautiful. Bit of cast netting. I hadn't seen that before here. It was really interesting. We stood and watched that for quite a while. Listen to the bird life. Oh, the lorikeets. And I come across this little quote. Don't be afraid to start all over again. You may like your new story better. I like it. Then it was Australia Day, and of course, more beach time, and Benny did some modelling for me. Doing what he loves the most. While we were at Burrum Heads, Mark did manage to get his outrigger in for a bit of paddling. We went for a few times, a few sessions. Yeah, the water's not as clear as it should be, like I continually say, but great conditions today. He's getting a bit of training in as we head further down the coast to Ulladulla in a couple of weeks' time. He's entered competition, so he's trying to get a bit of training in, get fit, get himself into a better physical state to attend this challenge that he really wants to do. Love seeing my man doing what he loves doing most. And back home, Benny's exhausted. He's had a very big week. And that's the end of another episode, guys. We shall see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye.